let's just start, okay?
You're starting right now, okay?
Yeah. So,
Sure.
yeah, Nutan, so can you introduce yourself?
So, so I have a total 3 years of experience in software testing as a QA, and I have done a manual and automation testing. Currently, I'm working in Senior Solution as a QA, and my project name is IMF. And basically, my responsibilities include identifying the automated test cases and writing the script for those test cases. So we are using the Selenium, Cucumber BBD framework at TestNG. And apart from this, I have done API testing manually for REST API using the SOAP UI and Postman tool. And I have been involved in a daily status call and sprint planning meeting, and in the retrospective meeting also. I given the test deliverables on the time, like test cases writing, test scenario writing, and requirement traceability writing, and I was also involved in writing the test plan, and I have given it on the time. And we use ALM, QC for reporting all the test cases and also the defects. And
It's a pretty good, introduce. I mean, about yourself and what you are doing right now. Okay, so I have a resume with me, your resume. So I can see like you have also provided the KT knowledge transfer to your, the new joiners who join your company, right? So.
Yes.
Yeah, so suppose I'm also joining your company and you are the QA and you have to explain me the entire project in technically and the framework level. So can you just give me a little bit of idea like how you can explain me this thing?
Yeah, sure.
Just I'm expecting the folder structure and like where you are writing your utilities and everything and the test cases. Just give me this much.
So automation framework you are asking, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we have make use of a Maven project. So Maven is having a folder structure like test, SRC main test, SRC main test, and SRC test Java. So it's like a two folders. We have in that we have used a page object model. So all the pages will be in your main folders. So we provided a folder there as a pages, and there we write down all the pages in class.
So how you are writing? Like, can you give me some syntax or annotations like you are using?
Yeah. So in a page object model, we use an annotation like @find by, and we write the web element which will be private, so that for if I have a something page class as some create identity, so all the web element in that class will be there, and all the operations will also be there. So these operations will going to access this web element. So it will be the private. So @find by.
Yeah. So why we are making this modifiers as a private only? Why not public?
So basically, we are achieving here the encapsulation. Basically, we are achieving here the encapsulation, and for that, like for security reasons.
Yeah, I got it. So suppose whatever the web element you are using and making it as a private, then suppose I have to use the same web element in my one of the test cases. Okay, so how I can access that particular web element?
Sure. Yeah. So basically, in that same class where I have declared my web element as a private, I will have my public methods there, public method implementation. Okay, so in that I'm using this web element because they can access their own class members. So I will going to have other class where test class actually, as I mentioned, there will be test class. So test class object. So there I create an object of this class, and that object dot I will access that public method, and this public method is basically accessing that private variable from that given class.
Okay.
So that's how indirectly I'm achieving the encapsulation also.
Yeah, correct. Very nice. Yeah, and yeah. So just continue with your explanation. You are almost finished, like page thing only. So just
Yeah. So basically all this page will be there for each and every class. I have the identity like the create identity, access request, access approval when user joins. So we have this kind of a module, certification of that user. So for all these 4-5 modules, I'm going to have each page. So in that page, I will going to extend the base class. So base class is going to be the one where I'm initializing the WebDriver, and I'm going to write down code which will load the property file, and that property file is going to consider the browser name, and there will be the URL. So and there will be open browser code also, like opening a browser and it should hit the URL. So basic code will be there in a base class.
So are you? Yeah. So are you not using some TestNG annotations like at before shoot or after shoot for the loading the browsers and closing the drivers like that?
Yeah, we are basically using that. In my current project, we are using that. Yeah. So before annotation is there, prerequisite and post-requisite annotations are there.
Okay. Okay. So okay. Nice. Then let's move to the next question. Just give me some real-time example of where you have used interface in your project.
Yeah, sure. Interface, basically I have used at the WebDriver. Driver is
apart from WebDrivers, like it is a very basic or common thing.
Yeah. I can say I have used in other way like a listener. So what I have done, listener, I have used I'm going to tell you. I created my own class, and I will basically implement that listener. iTest listener. So iTest listener is in
for what purpose?
So basically there are some methods like it is basically used to create some log or report. So if there is a method like on start, on some failure, what action should be taken. So there are predefined methods in the iTest listener. So I'm going to provide the implementation in my own class. So I will create my own class, some listener class, and I will basically implement that interface, iTest listener, and I'm going to provide my own kind of implementation. Like I will write my own logs there, on test failure, on test success, on test skip, something like that. Some kind of methods are there, and there is a listeners annotation. So I have my page classes there. So if I want to use that iTest listener, so my listeners class I have to use like @listeners in bracket my listeners class name that which I have created and given the listener. That class name I have to give dot class. So this way, I'm using the interface.
It's a very good example. Actually, most of the people, they're not able to answer if I ask someone like, what is the use of interface in your project? So it's very good explanation actually. Yeah, good.
Thank you.
Yeah. So can you also tell me like where exactly you have hash map in your project. Just I want a real time example like where you have used hash map and you process some data and store in a hash map like that.
Yeah, hash map. Hash map is basically used to store key value here.
Yeah.
So, mm,
Have you used Excel to get the data?
yeah. We have used Apache UI library to get
Yeah.
all the data.
Okay. So suppose you are taking the data from the Excel, so somewhere you are going to store, right? Or you are directly passing it to the particular functions and directly processing that data.
We are directly processing that. Means we are writing a code to read the Excel or to write back to the Excel.
Yeah, if you are reading, then you might be storing it somewhere, right? Or I'm assuming you are passing directly in the functions. Like suppose I am taking 10 username and 10 passwords are there in the Excel. I'm reading the Excel and taking one value like one username, one password at the same time and passing it to the function where the login function is there. So is it kind of thing you are doing, or first you are just extracting the data from the Excel and just storing it somewhere and then passing it to the particular login function or module?
Actually, we are doing it runtime, like reading that Excel. We have a function in a utility class. So utility class is there. So there is a predefined function is there to read it and to write it. We have a thing like we can write it back to the Excel also. Something we want to write it back. So we have that.
So don't you think like hash map we can use for the storing those values and then passing instead of runtime directly? Just a thought. What do you think?
I think we can use that because the key value it is same, right? So
yes.
Some key and their value,
Yeah, okay. So you are agreeing with, right? We can try this thing also, right?
Yeah, we can try this. Yes.
So in the core Java, you might aware of the concepts like array and the array list, right?
Yes, I am aware.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
So my question is like, suppose you have array which contain the string, and you just have to convert that array into array list. So is there any method or anything which converts the array into array list?
I need to think. Array into array list.
Yes. So I have one array, and I ask you to just convert it into the array list.
Array list. I think there is some inbuilt function to list or to array list. I'm not able to recollect it the name.
Okay. Yeah. So there is a method like we use arrays.asList. So in the list, when we provide like the name of the array, then it will get converted into the array list only. Okay. Arrays.asList.
ASList.
Yes. Yeah. So there are another way also, like there are other function as well too. You can do this, but one of them is this only. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So consider one scenario. Okay. In which I have 10 random alphabets, suppose A, I, or anything. Okay. And I want to sort them in ascending order. So how can we do that?
In ascending order, I have to sort. If it is an array, I can use the inject functions like arrays.sort. I can directly do that way.
Is there any other way also?
Yes, there is other way also, like I know bubble sort actually.
Okay, no issue. Yeah, so you can definitely, the answer you have given already is right. Like we can use like sort function is there, and also there is a comparable method. With the help of that also, like we can do this thing. We can achieve this, sorting in ascending or descending order.
Okay. Comparative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you heard this comparator comparable first time, or do you know something about it?
I have heard, but I don't know much about it.
Actually, yeah. So these are the interfaces, so which contains the compare to method. So it is kind of two. It takes two parameters. So you can just go through, like, it's an interface and it is taking the two different kind of functions are there, and based on that, sometimes it takes a natural sorting as well as incomparable, and there is comparator, it takes like custom sorting. So you can do this thing as well. Okay.
Okay. Basically, it's used for sorting also.
Yeah. So it can be used for anything also, but yeah, for sorting as well, we can do this thing. So yeah. So next question is, like, have you created or used thread in your framework? Like, ever you come across the situation where you have to create thread?
No. I haven't used thread.
Do you might just heard about this thing like thread.sleep?
Yeah. I know about that.
So can you tell me the difference between why we are using a Selenium wait instead of thread.sleep, and provide the whatever the second we need to wait for this?
Yeah. I know. So yeah. So thread.sleep, when we say now, so it will provide a specific time, and it will consider that full time. Even suppose we have an element on a page, and you are trying to wait for that particular element to get visible. So thread.sleep and that time in millisecond you define, it will completely utilize that time, even if element gets visible before the time. But if we make use of an implicit wait,
okay.
And we specify our wait. So if your element is getting visible before the time what you have specified, it will skip the remaining time. So that is the most important use. Like that is like overcome this thing of a thread.sleep is overcome by this implicit wait. So that's why people prefer to use implicit wait instead of thread.sleep.
Yeah, right. So you have not, as in a Java concept as well, do you know, like, what exactly thread and how we can create?
No, I don't know actually. I haven't worked on it.
Okay, no problem. So again, the similar question, like, how you manage synchronization in your project?
Synchronization, we have used explicitly wait.
Okay.
For synchronization, actually, yeah.
So can you just elaborate this thing, like synchronization?
Yeah. So synchronization wait is basically waiting for a particular element to get visible before taking any action. Visible, or we can say, so suppose we want to locate the element on the web page. So it should be first of all load properly, and then we are able to take the action. So if it is not load, then we cannot take the action on that. So these waits are basically providing us some way to wait for some period of a time on certain condition also, like explicit wait. It will wait,
I think you have misunderstood the question. I just asked the concept of synchronization, not synchronization wait. I don't think so. There's synchronization wait is there.
Yeah. Synchronization wait is not there.
Yeah, we have explicit, implicit, and fluent wait.
Yeah.
So I'm just asking just a whole and top level question, like, what do you understand means by the synchronization? If I'm asking about the synchronization.
Yeah. So basically, your script should be synchronized with your web element on a page.
Yes, you are somewhere correct. So let me tell you the answer. Like, what I'm expecting if I'm asking the synchronization about the project. So it is basically whenever you locate the particular element, okay. So you expect like if the browser is opening, then this particular element should be get clicked or some value to be put it in particular text box. So it maintains some weight, whether it's the implicit weight or the explicit weight, right? So that is what synchronization means. Whatever this thing you are trying to perform, it should take ample amount of time to get the entire thing done in a correct manner. Suppose because sometimes you are trying to locate a particular element, but it takes more than a time, to load that particular element. That time your script gets failed. So we are trying to just save our script to be failed. So that's why we use synchronization like the explicit weight or the implicit weight. So so if somebody asks you like synchronization about things, then you can discuss about the implicit or explicit weight.
Okay. Otherwise, it will give no such element or some kind of exception, like no such element or element not visible.
Correct. Yeah, right. So you can discuss about this thing. So what I'm expecting right now for that thing. Okay. Yeah. So can you just give me some example where you can use the JavaScript executor and what it is exactly?
JavaScript executor is basically we can use when your element is hidden, like shadow DOM element is there. In that, basically we make use of a JavaScript executor is a class.
It is a class or interface?
It is a class.
No, it is interface.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So JavaScript executor, we take a driver reference and we cast into that JavaScript executor interface.
Yes.
So that dot execute script is one method and it takes two parameters. So first will be used for those what is you want the path of that element, web element, and second you keep it second parameter I don't remember actually, but first you give the complete the path actually.
So basically, if you want to answer this question, like first of all, JavaScript executor is an interface, okay, and as you said, the syntax, it will cast with the driver, and it will take the one method which is execute script, okay, and inside that the JavaScript executor, basically the main purpose of using it, so it will be helpful for working with the JavaScript as well. Suppose we have a send key method, right? Suppose I don't want to send particular data with the help of send key method, then JavaScript executor will be helpful.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So sometime also JavaScript executor help us to get the title of the particular page also, right? Yeah, so we can
also also it is used for in place of actions also we can make use of.
Yes. So I'm just asking a top level, like what is the use, what is the purpose of it. So you just have to answer this and no issue. Okay.
This way, okay.
Because you are knowing the answers, but you are going deep inside that and you are messing some around and not recollecting the things properly. So it will give us some.
Okay, got it. I don't have to go too much in.
Yes. First of all, understand what question like this interviewer is asking, and based on that only just give answer. No issue. So suppose there is a one web page and you have to take one particular element value, okay? So and for taking that value from that particular web page, you have to scroll down, okay? So how can you scroll? How can you use the scroll down or scroll up functionality in Selenium?
Yeah. So scroll up and scroll down we can do through JavaScript executor interface,
Okay.
and there is you have to provide some parameters like suppose okay. So
What
you have to
exactly the method name is? Can you tell me? For scrolling up
yeah.
or down? Yeah.
Scrolling up and down, there is a window dot scroll by, and there is, you can provide pixels actually.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
zero, yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm expecting. Perfectly answered.
Yeah.
No issue. You have, I can see that in your resume, like you have a solid understanding of XPath, right? Dynamic XPath writing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you tell me what are the XPath access? Do you know?
What are the
XPath access. AXES.
expert access?
Yes.
I'm not able to recollect at this moment. Can you just give me more around it?
Yes. Yes. I'm just giving you. Have you used preceding, following, contain?
Yeah.
So
I have
that
used that.
yes, yes. So that all contain, under the XPath access only.
Okay. I got
Yeah.
it now.
No issue. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, if this is come under the access, right?
Yes.
So,
XPath
okay,
access.
not access. So basically preceding sibling, we can get by preceding keyword, and following we can get by following keyword. So, suppose I want to write some expert, I can give you the syntax like /star,
Okay.
bracket, @ some attribute name equals to value, and then after that I can say slash following colon, and I
Okay.
have to give the following whatever I want to get it like /star.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
It was disconnected. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. No issue. No issue.
Ha. So
Yeah.
preceding is preceding node value. If you want to jump it there and locate that element, so you can make it a preceding.
Okay. So next, my counter question is, like, if you are using in your project in real time also, like, have you used this thing?
Are you what? Sorry.
I'm asking like the XPath access you are telling me. So have you used in your current project as well?
No, I haven't used it because I was able to locate by other things, so I haven't used.
Okay, so which locator is a faster locator?
Faster, if you compare Xcode and CSS is faster.
Why it is?
CSS is faster. I have read somewhere though. I actually don't remember, but it is faster. I read it somewhere.
So it basically uses the property level, right? At attribute level, right? Yeah. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why it gives us the for the element to be picked. It will be more precise with the help of CSS selector instead of XPath, because it will be work on a DOM level. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the one of the reason we can say like the CSS selector is performing better result as compared to the XPath. Okay, there might be multiple reason as well, but one of the reason is this only. It will work on the attribute level CSS selectors, right? So that's why it is
Mm-hmm.
faster and it will give us a better result. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, so can you tell me what is the difference, or we can call it as a single slash or double slash?
Single slash.
And double slash, you are talking about a few minutes
Mm-hmm.
ago only.
Yeah. Single slash, basically we are finding the like element from a root node. It is the absolute text part. When you want to write, we make use of a single slash, and
Okay.
it will find your element from a root node. So suppose your element is like HTML, then body, and then some BR tag. So it will go like single slash slash HTML slash body slash BR. So it will go from HTML. Even if you want to locate something at your BR or some other tag, so it will go like that. But double forward slash is a relative XPath. So relative XPath make use of a double slash. You can search element directly into anywhere in the node. Double slash. You can skip also like star and text equals to something.
Yes,
Text
yes.
method text equals, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so right answer it is actually. So can you tell me, like, suppose you have a frame, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So in your particular web page, you have a three frame, and in the three frame, basically it does not have ID as an attribute or not the name as an attribute for that particular three
Mm-hmm.
of the frames. So how can
Mm-hmm.
you work with those frames?
We don't have ID as an attribute, or
Yes,
what you said.
and the second is name as an attribute. So I don't have ID and name for three of the frames, and but I want to work with those frames. So what things I will pick from that particular frame and try to work with that frame.
Yeah. So we don't have ID and name. We can make it of XPath basically. XPath contains some text. We can make use of that, or we can make use of some.
Suppose all the frames having the same like whatever the things you are trying to locate, it is same only. So how can you differentiate then if you are using
Mm,
content?
mm, so we can make use of indexing, like your XPath will be there, and then in bracket you can make use of that index 1, 2, 3.
Yes, perfect. That is
Yeah.
what I'm expecting actually. Yeah, we can go always with the index because index is always give us the unique only. Okay. So what is the purpose of data provider and the parameter in TestNG?
The purpose of the data providers and the parameters is basically to pass uh, parameter data providers and parameter. Okay. To pass the data to your test script. So
Okay.
the parameter, yeah. So in TestNG, you can have your in this thing tag like parameter and your name and your value.
Okay.
So what will happen in test method? So the methods which you have defined in your configuration testng.xml file,
Yes.
and here you have made use of parameter annotation. So by using that, you can get the data in the form of a string. So string
Yeah.
name and value you can get name one as suppose some other value password something like that. That is parameterization.
Okay.
And data provider, it returns basically to the array of data to your
Yes.
test method. So
Mm-hmm.
suppose it make use of data provider annotation, and in that data provider annotation we have method we will write down like import some data something like that, and which will return data object
Okay.
array, basically object will be equals to, it will be to the array with row and column something like that, and
Yeah.
we can store one value suppose in one cell or other value in another cell like that, and we can return that object to your test or basically test another method test. So there at the rate test data provider equals to your data provider name basically.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that you can do.
Yeah. It's a great and again a deep answer, but no issue. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
sorry.
No, sorry, it's fine, but you just have to make sure things, okay? Because after listening a 30-second or 1 minute of your answer, the in front of the person can judge you based on that, like whatever the things you have worked on, or you are just answering like easily. So it's no issue. It seems that like you have worked very thoroughly. Uh,
Mm.
no issue. So next question. Can you just give me like how we can use the soft assert with the help of syntax as well? Like I just want to know the use of a soft assert first of all, and how we can use it with the help of syntax.
Soft asset. Okay.
Yeah.
Soft asset is soft asset is something like you are asserting one statement,
Mm-hmm.
and if that statement going to be failed, it will show you the assert exception.
Okay. It
Uh,
will throw the assert exception.
Soft assertion and hard assertion. No. I think hard assertion will throw.
Yes.
Soft assertion will not throw any exception. It will continue. It will continue with the execution. Sorry. Yeah. Hard
So
assertion will throw.
yeah, that is understand. But can you
Mm.
tell me the syntax? Like, if I'm asking you hard assert syntax, then and what it will be the syntax, and if the soft assert, then what will be the syntax?
Yeah. So soft assert means we can make use of that. Um, assert assert. There is soft assert. Syntax will be assert two. Means soft assert is basically class. Okay. So
Okay.
soft assert OB is equals to new soft assert. We create an object of that, and by using that object, what I do, object dot assert. There are methods like assert true, assert false.
Yes. Assert
Like we
equals.
can make use of. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And after that,
Um,
don't they
so
use assert all method?
method. I think there is one method called assert all method. Yeah.
Yeah, so hard assert is basically you are asserting every day, I believe, because while writing the script, you are using assert dot assert equal. That means the hard
Mm-hmm.
assert. But most of the time, people, just they know the theoretical things about the soft assert, but they are not using actually. So we have to
Mm-hmm.
make, as you said, we have to make the object of the soft assert class, and then that object we need to use. So object dot assert true, assert all, and that, and at the end we again use the object of the soft assert dot assert all. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
it will not impact, and it will continue running on the next line of your assert. So,
Mm-hmm. Got it.
yeah.
Got it. Actually, mm, I just want to add one more thing.
Okay.
Uh, this assert all means when we use soft assert, it will pass even if the assert throw that exception means it will
Sorry.
pass. It will pass means that test case
Yes.
even
Right.
if it throw the exception. Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Mm.
So you are writing as a test automation engineer. You are writing the script, right? So
Mm-hmm.
how do you debug your code, and just to identify if there is any exception or the issue with the code? So how can I deal with this situation?
We can provide the debug point. Actually, right click and there is a breakpoint we provide, and we can debug. If I find any issue with that particular portion of my code, I will put the breakpoint there, and I will debug. Means I will check what value is flowing in that variable. So that's why I will get to know what where is my code is breaking, or what the issue is, like what incorrect value is flowing there.
Okay. So let's move to the next question. Can you differentiate between test driven development and data driven development? Yes.
Test-driven development is the one where test-driven development is one. Actually, I'm not. I have heard test-driven development.
Okay.
I'm not completely but data-driven is something you are making use of. Your test cases are driven by test data. So you are making use of a third source like Excel to get the data. So your script will run for all those data you provide in your Excel, and we make use of a Apache POI to read it and we write the code. So
Okay.
So it works like that.
Yeah, no issue. So basically, let me just answer or add one or 2 points. So test-driven developments, what happen actually, before you just write any unit testing or one particular test, okay, for a particular behavior or anything. That time you are using like test-driven development, okay. For you are writing one particular test cases for that purposes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and after that, as you said, data driven development, we take the data from the external sources. It might be we can say that the property file or the Excel file or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is a very basic or the minor difference between this test driven development and data driven development. Okay. Yeah,
So
so
in test-driven development, I didn't understand actually completely what is the difference.
So basically what happens when you do the test driven development, so whatever the result you are getting, that is, it covers the lot of coverage, okay, because you are focusing on that particular test and you are just trying to execute whatever the things are you are getting. So the result side, it is more oriented, okay, and it is a loosely coupled code, we can say that, because for that particular test you are writing the entire code for this thing. Okay, so that thing is happening in test driven development, and in data driven development you are explicitly calling, as you know.
Hi.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
So here there will be just test coverage is more, you mean to say?
Yes. So you are more on the focus on the one particular test and just try to execute your test cases. Yeah. So there is a very minor difference. Sometimes, while understanding this thing, you get confused as well, but no issue.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have worked in Cucumber as well, right?
Yes, I have worked on Cucumber.
So what language Cucumber uses actually?
Cucumber makes use of a Gherkin language.
Okay. Gherkin is a format, or I mean the way we are writing in Cucumber, or it is a language?
Basically, there is one plugin is there.
Okay.
Natural plugin.
Yes.
Which we use for that. Like it's a we can say Gherkin language. Yeah. Gherkin is a language. It makes use of a keywords.
If you are going to understand from different ways or the internet, then you may find Gherkin is a shared language, but it is actually the format for writing the Cucumber specification, like given, when, and then. Okay.
It is a format, you mean to say? Okay.
Yes. And what language Cucumber uses? So Cucumber uses many language. Like we can say that previously it was when it was invented, that time it uses the Ruby, and then it came to for JavaScript and Java and this thing. So we can say that Java, .NET and everything, this comes under what language Cucumber uses. But Gherkin is something which is a format for just writing the specification.
We are using Java for that.
Yeah. Yes, right. So again, aligned with this question only, what is the step definition file?
Yeah. So basically, step definition is a kind of a file. We write features in the feature.feature file. Or
Yes.
that there are scenarios, there can be scenario outline for each actually step is there. For added given when for
Correct.
each step we write the implementation in the step definition file. So it
Yes.
follows the format like @when and bracket start with suppose and then and dollar, and then they will provide full statement, and then you provide your function name, void, suppose any function name you can given, but whatever inside you provide that should be proper and without no spaces and anything, and then you write your implementation.
Yes, correct. So now you just relate with the step definition file what you have said, and Gherkin is the format which is writing the Cucumber specification. Then you come to know, like in the features file, you are just writing the specification or the requirement, which is understandable by the business people, right? And whatever the things you are actually technically writing it, that you are writing the step definition file, right? Selenium code in particular given when and then scenarios, right? You are just think of this thing, or it is going bouncer only.
No. I know. I used it. Yeah.
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 So what is the background?
Huh?
What is background in Cucumber?
Background keyword is basically used. The background keyword is basically used like if you want to execute before any scenario you want to execute anything. So we use the background keyword. So there we can write down the code like using a browser, something like that. Background before.
So have you used in your project, because you are, as you said, you are using Cucumber only, so you might have some scenarios where you have to repeat the task again and again, so you maybe work with background.
Background I haven't used it because there is TestNG annotations are there, so
okay no issue. Yeah, no issue. So as you said, like you use somewhere Cucumber, so have you heard the name of example?
Name of?
Example.
Example keyword.
Yes.
It is used with the outline keyword. So example keyword is used with outline. So in a outline, basically, it is like a table. And so you want to pass so many data. Suppose 10 username and password. So you can write it down. Username, password, and then your data. Scenario example, and you want to pass it in your step like when user login with username and password. So username will be your first you are writing it attribute that username, and password will be the password. Okay, so that you are passing there using scenario outline.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move to some API testing. You also worked on API testing, right?
Yes.
So what are the different HTTP methods you have used in your project?
Different types of HTTP methods. I have used like 200 or 201.
No. I'm asking about the HTTP method. So you have used. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I heard status code. Sorry.
No.
Methods we have used get, put, post, delete.
And okay, so can you differentiate between the patch and put?
Patch is giving you the partial response, but I haven't used it.
Just have a try. I mean, the difference between two. Yeah.
So put is basically used to update the resource on the server, And
Okay.
so if you want to update some record which is present on the server, so it will take your payload, and in that payload you provide your some data like update roll number, something equals to something. Then it will hit that resource and it will
Okay.
update that data there. So that is called put. And the patch is patch I haven't used, but I heard that it gives you the partial response, something like that. But not sure.
Yeah, so it is similar to put only, but there is a small difference. Like it will update the things in partial level. Suppose in
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
in put, suppose you are updating the entire employee data, okay, but in patch, if you want to update only the employee ID or anything else, so you can
Mm.
work with the patch also. Like it will not bother about the entire payload to be updated, but only the part of it, so you can update this.
So in patch also we provide the payload, right? So in payload, if I provide the same data, like some data I have provided to update, so what it will do, it will partially going to update.
Yes, yes. Your voice is little breaking actually right now.
Now it is okay?
Yeah, yeah, no, it is okay.
Okay.
Okay, so one more question about the API. So have you come across the 409 status code?
409
9.
status code. 409, no, I haven't came across.
Okay, so
Client
let me.
error. Client
Sorry.
side. It's a client side error that I know.
Okay.
It's a client side error. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically 409, it is a conflict actually. Conflict error, we can say that. Suppose we are requesting something and server responded with the 409 status, and the status is something, it is like conflict. Whatever the response we have getting, that it is contains some conflicts. Like suppose my data, suppose one record is there, and the record is already in we can say that in approved state, and when we request when we do again a post request for that particular record to be approved, that time it will give us the 409 conflict status. Are you getting my point?
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple, like suppose your name and your ID and whatever the things are there, it is already present in the UI, and it is showing your status as this person is approved person, right? And just normal example, don't consider with the authentication and all. Okay, I'm just saying in a normal way. And suppose I am hitting the from the postman, I'm hitting the post request with the entire payload of your name, ID, and everything, and trying to again create those things with your name and the status as approved status. So that
record I'm trying to create.
yes. So that time
Conflict.
it will conflict, like the value which is already present, the state it is present in the approved state, it is got conflicted.
Got it.
Yeah, so it is like that. So, and what is a 403?
403 forbidden. Yeah.
So forbidden means what, like when we get?
Yeah. So forbidden if your client not have access to if your client not have access to access for the server.
Okay. Yeah. So sometime you might be come across this situation where for requesting as in a GET request as well, you need a token to get the response of a particular request you are requesting, right? So that time as well, the forbidden comes into the picture. Whatever you have said, right, but I'm just adding one more point, like when we are working with the token as well, so that time also, if suppose we are not passing the correct or the valid token, that time we also get the forbidden error.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm.
Have you worked with the Git?
Yeah. I have worked with the Git. So we use the Git plugin basically, but I know the basic command.
So if I ask you, suppose I have one login.java file, okay, and I have asked you to just update the locator's value because due to some UI changes, the locator's value got changed. So just change the locator's value and uh, push this thing into the repository. So what is your step-by-step process?
Yeah. Okay. First, I will change my locator from 4.
Okay.
Okay. Next, I will going to next will be I will going to add my code to the staging.
Okay.
So for that, I will make you go add stars like that. And after that, once it is added to the staging successfully, I will commit my code.
Okay.
Git commit myself, and I can do some message also.
Yeah.
Double quotes. After that, I will push my code. So git push origin master. So that I can push.
So is it always origin master? Hello.
So,
So is it always origin master like you said, git push origin master?
no, it will not always be. So if it is origin master, then I will get it.
Okay. So yeah, first command is git add, and then you have to mention the login.java file.
Yeah.
So do you know about the Git Ignore file? What exactly it is?
Git?
Git Ignore.
No. I'm not. No, I don't know.
Okay, so Git Ignore is whenever you do changes. Okay, so Git is tracking all the things, right? Whether it's a .class file or Java file or HTML file or anything. So suppose you don't want to, few files are there like compiled version of Java file is .class file. So you don't want to, just show this file to the remote repositories. So for that purpose, you can use the Git Ignore file, and in that you can mention like star dot class. Okay, so what it will do, Git will ignore all the .class file, and it will not show to the repository.
Got it.
So yeah, so suppose you have to just ignore particular files that you don't want to show on the repository, you can add into the Git Ignore file.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any idea about the database also? Like, how much do you know about the database?
I have not done any database testing, but I have a knowledge of basic commands in SQL.
Okay. So what are the types of join you know?
There is inner join, left join, and right join.
Okay. So what is the use and why we go for the inner join?
Basically, join is basically when you want to get some records. So basically to get some rows with the relatable columns. So when we go for joins to get common record or some common record from left side or right side or from both sides. So that time on a we say column, relatable column in both the tables. So then we go for join. Yeah.
Okay. So my last question is, what is the difference between where and having clause?
Difference between having and
where, WHERE, where and having clause.
So where is used to provide the condition. Suppose I want to fetch some data where city is Pune. So select star from table name where city is equals to something. So it is used for some condition.
Okay.
And having where having is used with group by. group by having. Group by keyword. It is actually used with the group by together. Like
So
group
what
by
we are
having.
getting? So
Having is also, we are giving some conditions, like having certain conditions. So
okay.
we are getting record basically what as per the condition we provide.
Yeah, you are right. So basically, in simple words, if you have to answer this, so where clause is basically work with the condition to get the rows values. Okay, and having clause is where you are using to get the operation on the column. So that is the basic and simple way to answer this. Okay.
Operation on the column. Okay.
Yes, yes. So whatever the operation you have to perform on the column to get the we can say that the group of rows values. That time we use having clause, and normal is where clause, right?
But having also, just one question. Having is also taking position, right? Means,
Yes, yes, yes. As you said, it will take a group by having clause only. Yeah, but it will mostly work on the column operation side, and where is the row side.
Okay,
Okay.
got it. Hmm.
Yeah. So that's it from my side. Like I'm done with this thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to just give 30 seconds of feedback, then I will say from the knowledge perspective, with Java or the Selenium or the TestNG or the Git anything, you are perfectly fine. Okay, and you have a lot more knowledge. We can say that, but you have, as I said in between the interview only, you have to be you have to stop yourself somewhere, because I know a lot of things you are knowing, but always not showing all the details to the interview, because they are not having this much of time to. So that's why that is the one thing you can improve, and by the communication side and everything, I believe you are good with this all things. So just improve this only, give a shorter answer and cut to cut point only, because sometimes they ask you the question and they just want answer what they expected, and in the short manner only. So just think about, yeah. So just think about on this thing, and rest all things are, I believe it's pretty much better.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time.